Hi guys, so I just rented a Tesla Model 3 off of Turo, and this is just such a cool experience. And this is one of the reasons why I love Turo, is because you get to do things like this. This is a car that's new to the market. Most people don't even have it yet. I think there's only a couple thousand of these on the road, and for people like me that have ordered this car, we've never seen it, we've never had the chance to drive it, and really don't know too many details about it. And that's what makes Turo so cool, is that you can rent this car from somebody in your backyard and you get to test drive it and see what it's all about. So I actually just picked up this car from a renter. His name was Chris, on Turo in Newport Beach, which is just down the street from where I live, and he just bought this car as well, actually a couple weeks ago. So that's really amazing that he's on the platform renting out his Tesla Model 3 that he just bought to people. So I rented it from him. The car was washed and clean, ready to go. He told me all about the car, gave me all the details and everything that I needed to know. And now I'm in the car and I'm gonna enjoy it for the next couple of days, test drive it, see how I like it. My reservation's coming up in March, so this is a great way for me to actually, get to touch and feel the car, really get a feel for how it drives, what it's all about. Is it really worth it? If you're familiar with what's going on with Tesla and you keep up with the news, then you know that they've just begun putting in models that you can go and look at different places. I think there's one in Century City, and there's actually one at Fashion Island in Newport Beach. But you still can't actually drive the cars. You're able to go into their stores, and they have one model on the floor that you can look at. So it's really still, you don't get that full experience. So that's what makes this so cool, is that, I get to test drive this car for the next 2 days that I've rented it for and really get a feel for it. And so far, my first impressions is this is really cool. I really like the way that it drives. It drives a little bit different from the Tesla Model S, but I think it actually drives better. It has a little bit more of a, I guess you could say, a stiffer, more sportier of a drive, I feel, in my opinion, and I like it. I really like the simplicity of the car. When I first saw the showroom model at Fashion Island and just the images, I was like, man, I don't know. The car literally feels like there's nothing in it. And, right now, the starting price on the one that I've ordered, which is the extended long range with the premium package, it starts at $49,000. And after talking to this owner, he spent in total $57,000, and that was with everything. And he got the premium package. It's got the full autopilot. He got the interior done the way that he wanted it, with all the upgraded suede and the finishing on the dash. And with all that said and done, it was $57,000. So this is a great way for me to test out and see, is this car really worth $57,000 to me, or would I rather have something else for that price? But so far, really like it, like the way that it's driving. And the weirdest thing is that the minimalism that's in this car, oddly, it works. I mean, it feels really good. It's way better. I thought I was actually gonna hate this. I thought I was gonna get in here and be like, oh my god, this is not worth $57,000. But so far so good. So I'm gonna take the next 2 days to really see how I feel about it, and just kind of explore the features. One of the things that I like, that I thought was kind of cool, is that the key to the car is actually this little plastic credit card looking thing, and you just swipe it at the door to get in. I was actually surprised that it was plastic and not like a metal or something stronger than plastic, but I guess it would be cheaper to replace these if you lost them, so that's kind of cool. But yeah, so you just swipe that, you throw it in your purse, leave it in the car or whatever, and you're ready to go. I really like the airflow system that this car has. There's no like vents, there's just this one large elongated vent that runs along the front dash, and you can actually control which way you want the air, or if you want the air split up in parts. That's really cool, and that's all done from the center interface. So everything is really just controlled from the screen, which is really cool. So I'll be posting more about the features of this car as I drive it, once I get a chance to pull over and kind of explore everything. Owner was great, this car so far so awesome. I'll be posting his link on the video too. So if you're interested in renting a Model 3 and you're thinking about buying one, or you have an order for it, I mean, this is the perfect way to go. So I'll be posting that here soon, and I'll be sharing more with you guys. Talk to you soon. Alright, so it's day 2 of me renting the Tesla Model 3 off of Turo, and so today I got to drive it a bunch and really kind of put my thoughts together about what I really think about this car, what my impressions are. The good thing was this morning I had a bunch of Turo rentals and they happened to be deliveries. So early this morning I actually had an LAX rental, so I got to drive this car up to LAX, so I really got to experience the atrocious 405 traffic, work traffic this morning. So it's cool because I got to fully experience the autopilot. I got to take advantage and take the carpool lane because I was in the Model 3. So I really kind of got to mess around with everything, play with everything. And then after LAX, you know, I was headed to Newport Beach. So just got to experience what a typical day would be like in a Model 3 if this was my daily driver. And you know, my thoughts on it are, I'm a little bit conflicted actually. You know, I put in a deposit on this car 2 years ago. So I think over the years my expectations kind of really built up about this car, and so once I finally got it in hand and I'm test driving it because my car is up for delivery in March, you know, I have to be honest, it kind of did not live up to the expectations that I had. And I think that's in part because I also own a Tesla Model S. I have a P85. So coming from that to this is definitely a huge difference, and a difference in a lot of things. But really quick, just to recap on the Turo rental in terms of this car, the really cool thing is that you can rent this car for as low as $155 a day, which I think is a super fair price, especially right now. These cars are hot, they're brand new. I mean, hardly anyone has them, and the fact that it's even available for rent is so amazing. When I rented this car, it only had 1,800 miles on it, so I'm literally driving a brand new Model 3. And you know, you just don't get to do that anywhere. I'm sure that there's probably no one else offering this, or any other platforms that are offering this aside from Turo, at least not that I've seen. So that's kind of a really cool experience. The cool thing about the guy that I rented it from, as you guys might have heard if you follow closely on the news about the Tesla Model 3s, is that supercharging is not included. So the cool thing about this guy that I rented from is that he included free supercharging. So it just gets billed to him directly, but he doesn't ask for any reimbursements from the renters. So that's really nice of him. Definitely makes it more comfortable to drive and to know that you don't have to worry about paying for charging. One thing he did note was that the charging is pretty inexpensive. He said when he was doing the math on it, it's 1/5 of what gas prices are, so that's really awesome. This car in particular, I believe as it's listed, it gets 310 miles. So this is the long range premium Tesla Model 3, so it has all the upgrades, it has autopilot and all that good stuff, and it has a bigger battery naturally. But when I was talking to the owner, one of the things that he mentioned is that although it's listed as 310 miles per charge, it actually gets close to about 335, which is really cool. So the range has been awesome on this car, and it's almost spot on to what they tell you your battery life is on the car. So that I really like a lot. Definitely helps eliminate some of that range anxiety. So when I spoke with the owner about what his final price was on this car, he said out the door he paid $57,000 for this car, and he only left one thing off, and that was the fully autonomous mode, which is actually not even available right now. It comes out later on, and that was an additional $3,000. So I think if you got everything, you're looking at $60,000 if you want to leave that off, because it already has autopilot, and I'm not exactly sure what the full autonomous mode includes, but you know, the way the autopilot sits on this car right now, I mean, I think it's pretty perfect. I used it all day today. I love autopilot and just having to not hold this steering wheel and be stuck in traffic, and you already get irritated in traffic as it is. So it's kind of nice to not have to hold the steering wheel or continue to hit your brakes when you're stuck in traffic. So you're really looking at $57,000 to $60,000 when you buy this car. And I think that that's the toughest part for me. I feel like with this car, I really felt like there was not enough value to justify that price point. As you can see from the inside, it's super basic. I mean, your center console, you have a cup holder, you have a little area to put your phone or your keys or whatever you want in here. I mean, and then you have a screen, and that is it. There is literally nothing else. There's one screen, whereas the Tesla Model S has two screens. You have a full panoramic roof, but it's actually not a sunroof. So it's cool because it's all glass, and you kind of get that that view, and you get that light into the car, but you know, it's also not a sunroof. And I don't know, for me personally, it was a little bit too bare bones. I mean, I love the minimalism, but it's too minimal for $60,000, if that makes sense. I mean, for $60,000, I can buy a Corvette for that much, and so it's kind of hard to, you know, think about spending $60,000 on a Tesla Model 3. I don't know. It didn't hit the spot for me. It wasn't what I had expected. And also, I want to note that, you know, this might be a totally different experience for someone that has never owned a Tesla before or hasn't driven a Model S or a Model X. So, you know, I've seen other reviews out there, and for those people, I think this is a great car. For example, you know, I took this car home, and my little sister, she's in the market for a car right now, and she really wants a Tesla. So when I took it home, she got to check it out, and she loved the car. So, and that's also because she's never owned a Tesla before. She's never driven any other Tesla before. So for her to check out this car, I mean, she absolutely loved it. And in fact, she put a deposit down on one, and this is what she's going to get. But coming from driving a Tesla Model S for quite some time now, and looking at the price point on this car, I just felt like the value really wasn't there, at least for me. You know, the autopilot is great, and I think that's the biggest selling point for me. That's what I'm looking for in a car, because I love autopilot, and I think it's just the new way of driving. It's really hard for me to go back and drive a regular car not having autopilot, because it's just so convenient. It's so relaxing. It makes your commute, your drive that much better. But yeah, I don't know about that price point. Not loving the price point at all. I think now if this was really a $35,000 car, even a $40,000 car, that would be perfect. This is a good $40,000 car, but a $60,000 car, I just don't see it. So I don't know. I'm gonna have to rethink my reservation that I have for March and really think about if I want to go through with that purchase or not. So this has been my experience with the Model 3. Overall, drives well, has great autopilot. It's a good kind of just a daily driver car. Definitely not like super luxurious or anything like that. Just basic. It's exactly the fundamentals of what you need when you're driving a car, with all the newest technology. And you know, for those reasons, it's great. But you know, I think I'm personally looking for something a little bit more, sort of the wow factor, a little bit more luxury. You know, and I think this just didn't have it for me. But I would highly recommend, if you are a reservation holder for this car, because they're not offering test drives yet, rent out this car before you buy it. Definitely drive it around for a few days, check it out, and really kind of get to know the car before you buy it. Because you know, that's the sort of neat thing about Tesla, is you put these deposits down on these cars and you purchase them, but you know, you've never really even had a chance to drive it or really see what the car is like, especially if you're in other states. I know here in California, we just recently in the last week got a few showroom models in LA and Orange County. So you know, I know there's been a ton of people that have actually purchased these cars that never saw them or drove them or anything. So I would highly recommend it. Go on Turo. There's actually quite a few people that have these Model 3s up online for rent right now. And I anticipate that as these kind of start getting more popular, the prices will actually go up before they come back down. So right now they're actually priced really well, and I think that's because people are just listing them and they want to start getting those rentals. But as they become popular, those prices will rise a little bit, and then when the hype kind of dies down, then they'll start to come down over time. So this is the perfect time to go rent one. Anyone who has this car listed, it's brand new, so you really get that experience that you're looking for. You know, I feel like when I drove this car, I felt like it was my car as if I bought it brand new. So I really got to experience it in that sense. So yeah, so that's my take on driving the Tesla Model 3, and I'll post a link below from of the host that I rented this car from in Orange County. So definitely check out his profile. He was a great host.